Welcome back to the Ultimate Hobby Station. In this episode, we're making two corner units. The open display stand, work in progress display. You could store tools in it, etc. And the three-tiered spray can corner module. Let's do this.
Let's go while we're young.
Let me show you how we're going to make these. First, go to bkmakes.com and click on Free up in the header here. Then you've got DXF files for laser cutting at the top, which are sorted by part thickness. Then below that, you have the assembly sheet and paper templates we're going to print out so that you don't have to measure anything. Save these images to your computer. Notice that the parts are scaled to fit onto standard printer paper. To print them to a 1:1 scale, we're going to use a free application called BigPrint. If you don't have it, you can search for woodgears.ca BigPrint or follow the link down in the description below. This app was created by Matthias Wandel, one of the original YouTube makers. You can buy a copy of it by clicking down here, or you can grab the free evaluation copy up here. Once it's installed, you can open up the images you've saved. Notice that these parts are all in 1:2 scale. What you'll want to do is go to Image and calibrate scale by distance. You can zoom in and out with your mouse wheel to accurately select any 2 points that you know the distance between. I typically use the longest one on the page. Then you enter the distance, and now you can see that the drawing has been scaled up and will be printed out on 9 separate pieces of paper, which you can then tape back together once they're printed. There's an option you can toggle which centers the image, as mine is, which leaves quite a lot of blank space along the perimeter, but you can go to Image Select to draw a box more tightly around the part you want by pressing Crop. You can also change the print orientation from portrait to landscape if that helps you save paper. And here I'm down to 4 sheets now. When you press print, you can see that toggle that centers the image, and you'll also see 2 fields at the bottom which you can use to calibrate your printer. If you'd like to calibrate your printer, you can find out how in episode 1. There's a link to it here in the top right corner. Once all your paper templates are printed, you can cut them and tape any of the larger pieces together. One of the options to make taping these together easier is by adding a printable grid over your designs. You can see how I changed the option on this part, which I regret, as the grid's too big and it's making me use the cutting mat to line things up instead. These corner modules are based on a 30 by 30 centimeter square, which I'm cutting out on my table saw. If you have a laser cutter, you can skip the next few steps and just use the DXF files that are on the website. Then you can affix the templates to the appropriate thickness of HDF as per the assembly sheet, then cut out the parts. Drill holes. And then finish cutting any of the larger holes that remain. Next, you can remove the paper templates and clean up any that have stuck too well with some sandpaper. I've been dry fitting each module prior to glue up, and in this case I needed a little bit of extra sanding with a sanding stick to get the perfect fit. For assembly, I'm using Titebond wood glue and clamps, but you can use weights or books or whatever you have to ensure these joints are snug. I'll just quickly run you through the construction of the 3-tiered spray can corner module. From there, I'll then glue in the magnets which connect the modules together. Ideally, all your magnets have their polarities lined up east to west and north to south. I always forget, so I just check each of them every time I'm adding a new unit. Alright, there's the setup done and in place, and now I can see a big mistake I've made.
What?
So from the looks of this module, when it's attached to the others, it looks as though it's too high. These steps are too high. That's not the case because my hobby station is set on 2 different desks and one of them is not perfectly lined up with the other. These stair lengths, however, this one's too long, this one's too short, and this one's too long. Luckily, I designed this in Fusion 360, so the fix was an easy one. I just extruded in opposite directions these steps. It automatically adjusts the paper templates and automatically adjusts the assembly sheet. If you've been hesitant or intimidated to try Fusion 360 in the past, don't let that stop you. There's a YouTuber online named Kevin Kennedy at Product Design Online that does a Learn Fusion 360 in 30 days for a complete beginners course. I just went to check out his site and it looks like he's redoing that. I think he's on episode 9 or 10 as of the time of this filming. So go check him out. I'll leave a link for him down below as well. I've got no affiliation with Kevin whatsoever. Just found it to be super useful and very well done. So if you've got any time, it doesn't take 30 days, check it out. Have a good one.